Welcome to Verbal Pick
Give
Radio,
us free.
where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people like to welcome you all to the show.
Y'all
I got two
motherfuckers
disclaimers as we get started. It was Henrik Clark who went blind.
1790, the sun
And
dropped at
also, from my research, but for the listening audience, if you do have anything stating where we stated that there was a Elijah Poole Bay. I don't know if he wrote his name that way, but I have heard people refer to him in that name. So, but I haven't seen him write or call himself that. So I put that on the record. And also, it was Henrik Clark who went blind. That was a teacher, but we stated Ben Yakinen. Okay. So let's get into it, Ben.
Right, John Henry Clark.
Yeah, John Henry Clark.
Right.
Now, look. See, the context of this is of this particular topic, and to let you all know, this is our last episode of the first season, and we'll start the second season a week after next Thursday. Now we're going on Esteban Nico, the first African man to explore the Americas. We getting real. There go my sister, Rock Conscious. Welcome, Rock. We
Hello.
So we got an audience with us today.
Hello.
All right.
We own it. We talking about Esteban Nico. It states the first African man to explore the Americas, right? Remember that. Now, it's our job, and every parent heard this before, and every person heard this before, that it's not up to others to tell our history. It's up to us to tell the history. And so that's what we attempt to do right here on Verbal Pick Radio, right? Before we get started, I'd like to welcome Rock Conscious, Pan African Moore, OG Alex, and myself, Verbal Pick Radio, BCM Film, and we are live.
Already.
All right, we're finna get started. And that's Esteban Nico. Now we finna get into, okay, who was Esteban Nico? They say he was an enslaved Moroccan man and one of the first known non-indigenous people to enter Texas, right? To show you how powerful Texas is and how we go back from how the Islamic community was deeply rooted in Texas. Okay. Now, the enslaved Moroccan, he watched the shore on a near Galveston Island in the fall of 1528. As a survivor of the failed Narvaez expedition, he spent years in captivity there before traversing the region and becoming a key explorer, right? Knowingly New Mexico, knowingly Arizona. Okay. Following a disastrous journey from Florida, Esteban Nico and fellow survivors, including his master. Now, remember that. Now, they saying including his master. Who was his master? His master was Andres Dorientes, who was from Spain. They landed on the Texas coast, likely Galveston Island, during a hurricane, right? Okay.
Wow.
Now, he was recognized as the first person, really. They recognized him as a first of African descent or more in the Americas, right? Okay, now look. Okay, now this is departure. He, along with Cabeza, de Vaca, Dorantes, and Castillo, escaped their captivity and began their long trek towards Mexico City in 1535. I get just to check this out. So the Zuni people killed Esteban Nico because Esteban Nico was like a scout. When he first shipwrecked in Galveston, he spoke Arabic, and the natives spoke Arabic, and that's what saved their lives, right?
Mm.
Yeah, check this out. But they killed Esteban Nico because he was a scout, and when he went into Arizona, the Zuni people killed him because they felt like you bringing these Europeans with you into our area, so they killed him as an example for the Europeans to want to make them go away, right? Now, we gone. Now check this out, y'all. We getting to it now. We finna get into it. Right? Now check this out. This was Pedro Alonso Nino, right? 1455, 1505. Was a Spanish explorer of African descent, often described as black of mixed race, who served as a crucial. He was a navigator. He wasn't a slave. He was a navigator on Christopher Columbus' voyage to the Americas. He was born in Magura, Spain, to a family of sailors. He was known as El Negro and piloted the Santa Maria during the 1492 voyage, right? So this is why we got to tell our history, right? Because in 1492, El Negro came to the Americas. But they trying to say that Esteban Nico was the first one to come in 1538 into the Americas, which shows that we've been here into the Americas, right? Mm-hmm. So we got to tell the timeline. We have to tell our story, right? We finna get into it. And that's what really discussion about the importance and also us being here in the Americas prior to Christopher Columbus and prior to the Europeans or the Vikings that they stated Eric the Red, who also came here, but he didn't come here before we came here. Right? Okay, now check this out. Bam. Okay. Now this is a Native American. He contact with Islam began over 1,000 years ago, right? Hold on, we gotta read. We're gonna show you. We ain't playing. All right. It says the documented arrival of Muslims occurred in the 17th century with the arrival of slaves from Africa. But very few people are aware that the presence of Islam in America, in fact, predates Columbus by the 9th and 10th centuries. Early Muslim seafarers, maritime seafarers, had the technological expertise to reach the New World. Native Americans were in contact with Muslim travelers, especially the Cherokee Native Indians. A Cherokee chief known by his Muslim name, Ramadan Ibn Wati. Ramadan Mubarak. Ramadan Ibn Wati can be traced back to the year 1866. Furthermore, a research team from the University of Rhode Island has found 9th century clay pots containing Quranic manuscript written in Kufic script in a mass tomb. According to Barry Fell, excavations have uncovered writings in Arabic which prove that Arabs settled in Nevada during the 7th and 8th century. Much remains to be discovered about the little-known existence of Native American Muslims, but the future is promising, right? Okay. This now, you see today how they say they want to separate the native and say, okay, the blacks are the Native Americans in America, which is true. And they want to separate the Africans or Pan-Africans, and they say, well, this is you all over there, and this is us over here. But history would show you that there was interactions that most of the native tribes in America, when you see them wearing the turbans and the Islamic dress, we share cultures. They spoke the language. We're going to get into it. I'm going to prove my point in a minute, right? But this is our job to show history, and so it can be told the right way. That's why we did the one on Deuce Ali. Deuce Ali, Sheikh Anta Diop, Farad Muhammad, all of them task was to reunite Islam back to us after we fell for that 400 period of slavery. we lost everything. So they all came back with their own way to reintroduce us back to the knowledge. That's why when you hear us, we not connected with the Middle Eastern Arab Muslims. They wasn't the brothers and the Moors and the sisters who came and gave us Islam back in the 8th century, the 7th century, right? It wasn't them. It was our people who came to give us back that knowledge. And so I hope when we get through this and end that debate with when they try to separate the Pan-Africans, the indigenous, the Native Americans, the African Americans, we might can go on and end that on this particular show. So as we get started, and we're gonna start with my sister, Rock Conscious. How important is it for us to tell our history versus others if we really don't feel they have our best interests at heart?
From my perspective, it's important. For instance, we were not taught in school about Nino coming to the Americas with Christopher Columbus. Who would have known?
Pan-African
We
War.
have to.
Yes, sir.
Hold on one second. We have. It's very important that we do the research.
Right.
We have to.
Right. We. Come on, sis. Like you said, we. That's us. That's all of us. We have to. Right? Because think about it. That's a war strategy. When somebody else teaches your children. That's a war strategy.
It is.
Going up the ladder. Pan-African more the importance of us teaching, of us having the freedom or a free thinking mind. Because you can tell history, but if you're not free, it's still not going to come out with the same energy. But if you have that freedom of thought and choice, from that perspective, how important is it for us to teach us our history?
Well, yeah, you need a free thinking mind. I mean, being a follower means that you could fall into zealotry to where somebody could just get in front of you with no bibliography, no primary sources, and tell you anything, you're just gonna go for it. So to be an independent thinker and to be able to be a student and a teacher at the same time, you have to have a free mind so that you don't fall into followism, just making up a new word.
Right.
The religion of followism, and not being able to think of your own, be able to take information, cross-reference it with other sources, and come to a logical conclusion, or a conclusion that is rooted in scholarship, and not just any scholarship, but also going to do the research on the authors. What's their agenda? What's their perspective? What's their history? How do other authors view them? And that's the way that I was raised when it came to knowledge of self and into gathering all of these books up and being able to take the information and make it make sense, for whether it be a child or to an adult.
And that's where we can say that in 2026, because we build on the shoulders of others, and we can say that. But when the law, when it was permitted, or it was against the law to permit us to read or write, we had to rely on that one person who snuck off and was trading food for words. We all read the history. Hey man, to tell me, I give you an extra biscuit if you teach me what that sentence say, right? And then when they discover something that was beneficial for the masses, they would run back and tell them, hey, so and so getting ready to do this. They'd be like, well, because that was the only person that could read. So that was we at that time, and you're right, at that time we had to rely on an individual. But now we grown. Now we big people now. We got internet. We can get a what you call a library card now. Versus at one period of time we couldn't. But we can now. So you're right. I what you said, there's no excuse today. Exactly. And OG Alex,
Yes, sir.
the importance of knowledge or teaching our own knowledge and today, as we say, in this dispensation in time.
I want to piggyback on what you were saying earlier about and it ties into it. Our history, you know, if you say history, you know what I mean? If you think about the word, I'm real big on word origins and stuff like that. And it is his story, so they can write it how they want it. You know what I mean? Put in what they want to take out. Have you learned this? Have you learned that? Or whatever. But if you think about it, when we're writing our own story, it's more prolific. You know what I mean? It's more to the point to where it's like, wow, and oh, did this, did that. And it's like, it's going to overshadow everything that they got going on. You know, so I think that it is important for us to actually write our history, and tell it the way it's supposed to be told. Don't leave anything out of it. I think the youth learning about our history is very important, so they have a sense of self and understanding and their major contributions to this country and the world. You know, it just broadens their horizons on anything is possible, and that there were people before us that actually did the same, you know, attempted these same things and doing it. So, you know, you don't go into, like I said, we remember growing up and they made sure we learned all the same thing at the same time. And it was, when you graduated to another grade, they still brought back what you learned in the grade before to make sure it stayed fresh on your mind. So there is a war strategy and system with that. Made you pledge your allegiance as a child, made you do all those types of things. And it's technically, and now we're adults, we can look back on it and see how we just was following along, and we had, you know, we didn't even think nothing outside of what we were taught.
Yeah. And that's why what we do on this show is so relevant, because it's like that hammer and chisel, right? We just chipping away at the falsehoods that was taught to us. We getting into your psyche to make room where you can accept other ideologies and ideas and different frames of thought. That's what.
Remember when if we had shows like this, or even if it was just a radio broadcast of what we're doing right now, back when we were growing up, they would have pulled a plug on it.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
They would have pulled the plug on it. It would have been, they went off the air right there with this radio silence on or something. That's power. That's how powerful it is when we tell our history and stuff like that. If it's not put into a cookie cutter box for them to say, this, okay, y'all can tell y'all history, but you only can talk about this, and that, because that power can spark from that, man. And that can just, what else you want to know? I want to know more. Wait, whoa, slow down. So I can just remember back in the days that if anybody got off script, they pull a plug on it.
Oh, man. Oh, bro. Oh, my God. I forget. Bro,
it's so true. And it goes to say, you know, that most people who are labeled as conspiracy theorists, I believe they are owed an apology.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot that was said was the truth.
Is it true?
Yes.
My God, I apologize. Yeah, look, I apologize. I had something I wanted to put on the screen, but I'm gonna tell you guys, and then I'll put it on when you know. And look. If anybody got Netflix, there's a movie called The Norseman, right? They did a ritual. They crawled on the ground on all fours. He said, he told him and his son, right? He said, we're dogs. But in this ritual, we'll come from dogs to becoming men. And that was their goal. From dogs to men. Our goal was from man to God. But his thing was, if we dogs and we come to men, then if I can pull him to stay at man, I can have a leverage on him. So of course I'm not gonna give him knowledge. I'm finna tear apart and tear away everything that he once hold to be true, right? So in this segment, and those who listen, we have to do this. You might call it role play, but we got to get into the psyche on why he did it. So we got to put ourselves in his shoes, right? So if you coming out of the cave, right? No. Say you run in contact with the first Moors who came into Europe. Let's say what they call the Dark Ages, right? And you looking at them and they standing upright. They dressed to the nine, gold. They got jewelry on. They got books of knowledge. They teaching you, and now you have to make a decision. Why do they have it? I don't have it. Who are these people? And how can I trade places and put them where I'm at, and I'm where they're at? Why? Because two people can't occupy the same space at the same time. Right. So we started. So if you were them, because we just getting in his psyche, right? What would be the benefit? Or why wouldn't you congratulate the one who came and gave you knowledge? What's the benefit for putting them down?
Yeah.
Right? Conscious, what would be your thought on this? And there's no correct answers. We just, because we never been him and we never been them, but we just trying to get in their psyche on how they think.
Well,
yeah, I'm. Oh, my bad.
Go ahead.
Go ahead and open that more.
Yeah, I mean, power with the resources. I they saw the luxury, and even before, what was it, 700 AD, when they came into Europe. Was it 700 AD?
When they came into Europe, right around the time. Even before that, you still had the Greco-Roman empires, and those empires, they were gone. So these dark ages, quote unquote, that they fell into, and you see these Africans coming in with, they brought in universities, Salamanca. They brought in, like I said, luxury culture, theater, alchemy, culture, all the above. And, for them, they wanted to take that particular position. And since 1492, and even before then, because there was wars going on, during these times, they've been on that mission ever since. And so what we're seeing now, present day, is really, it is nothing but a continuation of what we saw, what we understand. I mean, we didn't see it ourselves. We wasn't around during the Greco-Roman times, but it's just a continuation of those times. They want to be back in that position.
they fell off and they wanted to be back on. Just on a mundane level, just on a surface level, without going into the spiritual aspects and everything like that.
That made me, bro, when you were speaking, you know what popped in my head, bro? Popped in my head. How is it that a lot of these Moors that came out of Morocco had quote unquote Spanish names, when the European coming out of because the Visigoths and the Goths was the first to attack Spain. So who did create Spanish? The Spanish. That's gonna have to be a study. We gotta figure this thing out. And we will, though. Y'all trust me. We will figure this thing out on Verbal Freak Radio. It made me think. Yeah. Wait. Something. Yeah. Okay. But OG.
The question is where is the lie? Where does the lie actually? Where was it laid?
And
because the presence was there, we had to be.
Had to. So so that's the question for OG. How powerful is a lie?
Very powerful, man. Very powerful. I think what these people were doing in their conscious mind, their psyche or whatever, they was actually thinking about the future. They was like,
yep, absolutely.
In order for us to sustain or have anything, it's going to take us years and years to do what we implement everything in order for in the future for them to be so far behind on what the truth is. We got to tell a lot of lies, and we're going to have to keep it. We're going to have to. I was thinking about it today, when we're getting ready for the show. And I said, man, these people have worked so hard to keep everything from you and keep what they've obtained away from you as well. They work hard and they work together because they know it's holes in the story. They know the lies is right there, and they'll still act like ain't nothing wrong. Like, I don't hear what you're talking about. This can't be true. They're gonna deny it, but it's the facts are coming out, man. People are getting more of that stuff. So they were thinking about the future. They said, well, we're gonna hold it as long as we can, and then the ones that don't know, we're gonna stay on top of them. But the ones that do know, there's nothing we can do about it. But we're gonna hold this lie. So it holds a lot of weight.
Hold on.
Right. So I have a question.
Yes.
Perhaps one of you guys can answer. Okay, let's say the natives were reclassified as Negroes and blacks, right?
Right.
Okay.
Documented.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you have Obama come along and remove the word Negro.
See.
Well, yeah, but now, but he snuck and Pan African boy. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. But what did he do when he snuck in? He tried to say, "Okay, we'll give you access if you go through the DOS rolls." Didn't Obama have something to do with the DOS rolls?
I'm not sure about the DOS roll, but as far as what you were saying, Sister Rock Conscious, about the way that they split people up, is that they didn't just reclassify them as Negroes. They took skin complexion and they divided people up amongst several different titles, Negro just being one of them. And yeah, Obama did remove Negro from the census, but Negro, like we all know, is just a Spanish word for black, seeing as how Spain and Portugal was the first to use the doctrine of discovery to come and try to plant their flag in America, which eventually it did work out in their favor. We got Spanish Florida, and you have Spanish presence and laws in Louisiana, to this day, along with French laws, even though they lost control of that eventually to the British. But yeah, Negro and Black literally mean the same thing legally. You have the Negro Act of 1740. I mean, it still stands to this day. They just took that Negro Act of 1740 and they took those and they spread it across all the different states. So you find similar language in different states, but the 1740 Act was the first in order to enact certain laws in place after the 1739 slave revolt in South Carolina by those brothers and sisters from the Kingdom of Congo that were enslaved in South Carolina.
But Negro was
Okay,
also
so let me clarify
Native American.
myself. What I was saying, so if you remove the word Negro, right? Okay, so is that not a way of like removing information or a way to trace things back?
What? Yeah, correct. Because the Native American was called Negro at one time.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that's why it was something with the doc, because the DOS rolls are where you would go back and trace your Native American heritage. But Negro was removed. Why? Because at that time,
actually, I believe it's Virginia. It's one of their laws. It was where where natives got reclassified.
they got reclassified. But blacks was going back claiming that their indigenous rights, and they wanted everything that the government was giving to the natives. Because they said, "Hey, wait a minute, we the real natives." Because on the census, if you was what they call a black and a native or African native had a child, that child was the mulatto before the white and the black. They considered that mulatto as well.
Right.
So
yeah,
yes, sir.
No, go ahead, Black. My bad.
I'm listening. Oh no, because I was getting ready to go into another question. But what did you get ready to tell the statement?
No, I just wanted to say that for the record, and this is something we could pull this information up, but we could cross reference this. Is that because I may have seen this being brought up by the internet. Now you have a lot of, even my little homie, call himself Aboriginal, even though the Moors were the ones that really brought that to prominence when we were, including myself, filing paperwork with the courts identifying ourselves as not only African, but also Aboriginal indigenous Moors. And that has more recently turned into people here, Black people here, calling themselves Aboriginal, saying that slavery never happened and that everything started here and that there were no Africans actually here during ancient times. Just want to bring up the book, The First Americans Were Africans by Dr. David Imhotep, and also the brother Michael Imhotep's YouTube channel that's been around for so many years. And it doesn't get that many views, but his information is absolutely impeccable. It's top tier information. And so as far as the classifications, there were, I think mulatto was one. Yeah, you had Negro. You still had I think they may have been using the term maybe Indian, if I'm not mistaken. I know for sure they, whenever you look up Moors, if you just do a Google search on Moors and Lascars, Lascars, they referred to them, if I'm not mistaken, as Negro Asiatics. You know, and then you find the term Aborigines in their legal system as well. Just look up the term Aborigines and U.S. law, and you'll find these terms. So there were many different terminologies that they utilized whenever they were separating people here into various different groups. So it wasn't just strictly they saw a quote unquote Native American and they just called them all Negro and Black. It wasn't that black and white, so to speak. It was several different classifications that they utilized in order to separate the people.
Correct. And when you said they especially by skin color, that's Willie Lynch again. He did the
Yes.
same thing.
That was
But
the Virginia Act of 1924.
okay. While you getting that, Rock, that leads me into the next question. Right. Is
Racial Equity Act.
a lie infinite or finite, OG Alex?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Is a lie infinite or is it finite? Meaning, is a lie ongoing or does it have an ending?
I think it's depending on the person because eventually you got to tell the truth. It's just a matter of who's going to do it, but eventually you got to do it. So I don't think it's infinite. I think eventually you have to, whether you tell it or not, the truth always finds a way to win, because if it's infinite, that means a lie. You know what I'm saying? Everything is based on a lie then. You know what I mean? So the truth has to prevail, and good's going to always prevail over evil. You know, so the truth, if you're lying like that, eventually, somehow, some way, the truth is going to come out. You know, so it's gonna come. You know, and I want to say this, but I think about it, and I could be wrong, but I do remember them teaching us about, and this is on independent study, when all the continents were at one, right? And if you divide everything up, you got people going to be displaced. So I think we were all in one land mass. It's split up into these continents. No one can say they're originally from somewhere because it was all one piece. It was all one. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at what the Pangea is what they say, right? Right. So just to think about it, it's like everybody was in the one place. So when this major thing happens and it splits everything up, of course you're gonna have people that were here moving there, you know, all over the place. You know what I mean? Everybody was originally in one place. So I think if you're saying you were originally here when that piece broke off, yeah, you was originally there. That's where you were at. You know what I mean? When you have these explorers discovering things, they're discovering it after it been split. Right. You see what I'm saying? So when people lie about a lot of different things, it's only because they really don't want you to know they don't know the truth. Right. They want to withhold the truth from you, because if you depend on them to tell you the truth, you're putting yourself in a situation where you don't want to go out and research and acquire knowledge yourself, because you're like, hey, that don't sound right to me. You know, a lot of stuff don't sound right to us, but we just kind of, some of us accept it. But I'm the type of person, I just be like, I don't just believe everything I read or hear and see it. So because I start thinking to myself sometimes, I'm like, it got to be, if it's always two sides, to more to the story, it's more, you know, I'm like, well, this is just one view. It got to be more to it.
Exactly. So Pan-African Moore, is a lie infinite or finite?
A lie is infinite. A lie represents forever. Represents the soul. We talked about this. I wanted to just say this one thing, is to challenge people to go and read the Bible and the Quran and exchange the word soul for Allah and exchange the word soul for God, and see what you come up with. See how it reads to you once you do that, because we represent the individual of the one or the all. You know, the made in the image and likeness of is just another way of saying that we represent a portion of the one forever concept. You know, that we represent the finite or the infinite. And, you know, so, and then at the same time, we also got to say that principle of correspondence is that everything is connected only in the appearance of separation. And that's really important to add to that. While we're talking about forever, we got to understand that everything is connected. All energy is connected. It's just in the appearance of separation so that we can do this work.
And I meant not Allah. I meant like a lie, like a fib, a false narrative. Was that infinite or finite?
Allah?
Not a lie, like somebody tells.
You saying a law like LAW?
No, I mean
No,
like
a non-truth.
a non-truth.
You mean like Allah, like A space LA?
No,
a lie, LIE.
Oh, a lie.
Yeah.
Is a lie infinite? Nah, a lie. Nah, ain't there. Nah, ain't nothing infinite in creation. Everything in creation is finite and temporary. You have to go outside of the concept of creation to get to the infinite.
Right.
So even the soul exists outside of creation because it pre-existed before creation.
Right.
So, Rock Country, what do you think? Is a lie infinite or finite?
I think it is. I think it's finite.
And the reason why I ask is, if you've been up under a lie, let's say for 400 years, right? And then all of a sudden the truth starts to rise to the top like cream, right? How do you react to that when you find out you've been lying for all this? How do you handle it? How do you cope with it? You know, how do you adapt into this new?
Act like Ray Hagen. You heard me? Behave like Ray Hagen when he found out the truth.
We found the truth, right? Right, because that's what we had to.
If you know who he is,
it's an explosion of.
It can make you be angry. It can make you be angry.
Yeah.
At first, until you really think about, do some critical thinking and do research to find out again how everything was so carefully orchestrated, like our education, and being, especially now since we found out who were the publishers of all those books we had in school.
The Epstein files. Oh man, bro. Yeah. Look, you got some people where that lie been passed down for generations to generations, and they don't want to let it go because that's the essence of who they are.
Yep. Right.
That's hard. I mean, if you look at it, that's really hard to cope with. Even with industrial laws, where we finding out certain things was causing cancer and causing certain things, and you've been fed that, and you got it like, wow, man, you know, and you be like, man, we've been set up. Like, you mad because you say, how can a human being purposely lie to us for all these years, but yet at the same time say we all one and we all gonna come together, and it's like it's enough to make you
power words,
that's
man.
The stuff that he's done to pacify us.
Yeah,
you know,
power words.
It's like I'll punch you in the face, but then I'll tell you, oh, it doesn't look too bad.
Right.
It doesn't hurt too bad.
Y'all go, cause I gotta read something, y'all. Just to bag up, to give facts on what we're talking about.
Okay.
I gotta read this because this is powerful. Here we go, right here. All right, y'all. Hold on. Now this is pre-Columbian Islamic presence in the Americas, right? This is by Dr. Yahya Zaghunda Mertradi at the Conference Center University de Gahardia, right? And I'm going to skip a little bit, though. All right, here we go right here. Look. The oldest recorded Muslim presence in America dates back to AD 700 to 800, as proved by Barry Fair from the University of Harvard in his book Saga America 1980. He gave a solid scientific evidence that Muslims from North and West Africa arrived to the Americas centuries before Christopher Columbus. He discovered through archaeological findings that Muslims established schools, at Valley of Fire, Allen Springs, Kehoe Canyon, Washoe, and Hickinson Summit Pass, Nevada, and at Mesa Verde, Colorado, Members Valley, New Mexico, and Tipper Canoe, Indiana, dating back to the above mentioned era. In the arid western region of the USA, he found engravings on rocks that included Arabic text, diagrams, and charts as remnants of the last surviving fragments of Muslim system of elementary and high-level schools. Fell indicates that the Arabic of North Africa was used in teaching and was written in old Kufic Arabic scripts. The schools provided lessons in writing, reading, mathematics, arithmetic, religion, history, geography, astronomy, and sea navigation, maritime again. Fell further indicates that the Muslim visitors of North America integrated with the natives and are now members of the communities of the Iroquois, Algonquians, Ananazis, Hohokams, and Olmecs. In addition, there are 484 names of villages, towns, cities, mountains, lakes, rivers in the USA and 81 in Canada, which derived from Islamic and Arabic roots. All those places were named by natives before the arrival of Columbus. Berryfeld cites that following list of names such as Mecca, 700 inhabitants Indians, Mecca Indian tribe, Washington, Medina, 2,100 in Idaho, Medina, 8,500 in New York, Medina, 1,100 in Hazen, 5,000 North Dakota, Medina, 17,000, Medina, 12,000 Ohio, Muhammad, 3,200 in Illinois, Mona, Utah, Arva, Ontario County, etc. As to the names of the Indian tribes, he says that many of them have Arabic and Islamic roots and origins, such as Anasazi, Apache, Arawak, Arcana, Chavin, Cherokee, Cree, Hohokam, Hooper, Hopi, Mecca, Michigan, Mohawk, Nazca, Zulu, and Zuni. There's also historic evidence that suggests that there are also contact between Muslims and Native Americans in the mid-10th century during the rule of the Umayyad Caliphate Abdul Rahman III. Muslims of African origin sailed from the Spanish port of Delba Palos into the Ocean of Darkness, what they call the Atlantic Ocean, as Muslims used to call the Atlantic Ocean. After long absence, they returned, carrying a lot of booty from a strange and curious land. But basically, they talking about, basically you said Pangea, the traveling, they bringing back artifacts, they traveling, they teaching. Islam was all through with the Native American and with these tribes. So we always had a connection. But now I understand, though, as we still delving in the mind of the colonizer, well, yeah, of course he had to distort and block all that. Because in his mind, how else I'm going to rule over them how can you rule over a person if that person knows who or she is?
Right.
It's job hard, right? Makes the job hard. I got it. So, now.
Think about it. What you just said. You know, that's one of the important things of if they're going to keep the lie going, they're going to try to have control or power, they have to make you pledge your allegiance to this lie. You have to live by this. You know what I mean? It's so serious with them. That's why they say we're patriotic. You know what I mean? They really mentally have brainwashed millions and millions of people in the times and stuff. So it's kind of like we have to stay with this. Notice they don't never talk about their British roots.
No, they don't. They don't know.
It's all about American. You know what I mean? That they're not from here, but you claim this is, you know, you live and die for this over here, but that's not your origin, you know what I'm saying, your origin. You see what I'm saying? They don't bring nothing, talk about nothing British, because, you know, they can't do that because they know the British look at them like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all talking about? You know, that's irrelevant. You know, they look down on them and they know that. You know what I'm saying? So what I've seen sometimes when a person's, they feel so passionate about this country and the America and this and that, because they really don't understand the big picture. They see a lane in it where it looks, I look good in this right now. I look good in this. This looks good for me. And it's better for me. And everybody wants to be here. They'll settle with that, but that's all falsehoods. As we can see, we're discovering it's all false.
But it's our job to explain our history.
Yeah.
Because on the ballot, well, not on the ballot, but one of the issues that's being discussed in Texas politics today is they want to get rid of all the Sharia courts in Texas. But they have to realize how long Islam been in Texas. Islam been in Texas before Esteban Nico.
Come on.
It's been coming through Texas when it was part of Mexico. Right? It's been here. But we got to understand, now we got to delve into, because we still in their mindset, right? And so we're just speculating, because I mean, we speculate. We can kind of put our finger on it, and this for Pan-African More, right? Why do you think they want to get rid of the Sharia courts in Texas?
Man, because Islam was the last body politic that built the ass on the Europeans. All those treaties, those Barbary treaties that was going on, where you had both the Englishmen, as they identified themselves in the treaties, and the Moors, along with the Jews, which these were Moorish Jews, on the other side of the treaties,
right?
Because you have those same treaties also written in Arabic, but both sides were restricting, and they're restricting slavery, because when it came to all of these wars that happened during the triangular slave trade, like I said, the majority of the bodying or the unalivings that was happening on, as far as our side to their side, it was the Moors that was inflicting the pain, you know, on them. So they don't, you know, so since then, and even before then, they have been on a mission to, when it comes to that particular body politic, for that to be obliterated. Even to this day, they don't, you know, besides just the Middle Easterners, them attacking them is if you look at the AES today, Mali, Nigeria, and Burkina Faso, those are Islamic nations. Those are unified nations. But what you notice is that when you listen to Captain Traore in particular, you don't hear him even bring up Islam like that.
Right.
I don't know if I've even ever heard him bring up Islam, but if he does, it's very little, because it's not, for him, it's unification comes first. When it comes to the law system, you know, is that because one of the reasons why Islam is so powerful in today's time is because there has been so much, and we've talked about this before, there's been so much litigation on the record between the Abrahamic religions, that being Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. So when it comes to creating contracts, when you include Sharia law and the Sharia mortgage system, where there's no interest involved because it's illegal in Islam, and the Sharia courts, right, you know, all this is high level competition when it comes to the Catholic Christian system that the Englishmen or the Europeans put into play. You know, ever since 325 AD with the Councils of Nicaea and the Nicene Creed, you know, via Constantine in Constantinople when you had all of those different bishops that were following all of these different religions, and they had got to a point to where either there was already bloodshed or there was about to be massive bloodshed. So Constantine gathered them all together and said, we need to unify this thing. So they created, what we now know today as Christianity. And, they utilize it to their advantage in order to enact what, in their particular countries. Now, that's not taking nothing away from Ethiopia. And it's when it comes to any of these religions, it's all about how you use it. If you use it to the advantage of your people, then it could be a powerful tool. But we also have to be aware of the history of it and the science behind it, and understand that it's a weapon and a tool, and it's also a way for people to galvanize under different body politics, because you have nations of people, and then when you talk about religion, that's a separate body politic of people where people can galvanize and consolidate power. And when you combine those two elements together, then you have something that is very powerful that, the Europeans, in particular, the ones that are dropping bombs today in the present now, they don't want that to interfere or be a opposition or competition for the system that they put into play in 325 AD in Constantinople.
I mean, exactly. That Sharia banking is at the core of essence of who we are. That's us. That flows in exact with we and how we operate as a people. And also, Islam is more prevalent in America than it is in the Middle East. We always had long standings within America. That's why Ibn Said, they got a picture of him in the museum in Philadelphia. I took a picture of it. They got so much, I don't know how they got away with hiding it for this many years. I mean, and the evidence is right in our face, right? But it shows you the power of us and what we brought to the table. But it also shows you the opposite power of what they had to try and stop us. So it's an underlying reason on why the colonizer was so hell bent on blocking us and keeping us, right? Because dogs to man, man to God. Lo and behold, if they get that knowledge and all of them stand up, erect 90-degree angles, it's over with. It's over with. Mm-hmm. I mean, think about it. We melanated beings. We the oldest beings on planet Earth. Our night vision is impeccable, right? They threw everything they could at us, and we still know how to smile, know how to sing, know how to create in some of the worst conditions, right? So if I'm them, yeah, of course I'm doing what I'm doing, because who want to share rulership, right? It's like my partner said, hell, if I'm winning the game, I'm not finna tell you the secrets to help you win. I enjoy these victories. I'm not trying to help you out, Hey, but that is his mindset coming from. This is how we understand it. I mean, think about it. Your origin is in the cage. Your best friend was a dog. You didn't know how to cook your food. You didn't know anything about fire, right? You eating raw meat, right? Somebody else had to come civilize you and raise you up, put a harness on your back, right? Give you knowledge and show you how to cook. Your queens admitted that they only bathe once a year.
On special occasion.
on special occasions, right? So if I want to justify my existence on the planet, and if I really want to stick my chest out, then I got to bring you down, and I got to make me appear to be more than you, because I want my time in the sun too. I want to shine too. So I mean, yeah, by any means necessary, he gonna do what he gotta do. It's like football. I'm gonna turn around and hand this ball off and run up the gut right up the middle until you stop. I'm not gonna stop it for you. You can't stop it. I'm running the same play and the same play so you can prove that you can stop it. And we seeing this in these political systems and these voting that's taking place currently today. The white dude said today, he said that in the future, by the year 2028, he said that we got to find a way to break up the old black voting neighborhoods. Because one, white people are losing their numbers. A district. All these black districts, they got to find a way to historically make black, because now they saying it's unfair. But the reason why we got our black districts is because after Jim Crow, you wouldn't even allow us to move in certain areas. Every black neighborhood is mainly because that's where you said we could stay. And then they call ghetto. Ghetto came out of Germany with the Jews.
Holocaust.
With the Holocaust. So now you created the problem, and now you saying the problem you created, now it's unfair because you're not winning no more because time is moving, right? The lies is starting to crumble, right? And the hardest part is waking our people up in time is the hardest part, because once you build your foundation on a lie, or you built your house on sand, and somebody say, hey man, you might want to move because that sand sinking, you know what I mean? But damn, this is all I know. This is all I know. I don't want to know nothing else. I say, okay, all right. But you still gotta say what you know. Truth is truth, and it's not personal. You know what I mean? So we dropping it out there. So that is what they stating. Jasmine Crockett has said she'll take Whoopi Goldberg place on The View or some other talk show since she lost. It's just okay. It's something else. But as we close this thing, and we close out, because this is how we closing out our first season. This was season 1. Moving forward after this, because we got the history already. We did the history part. Season 2 will be more into popular topics of what you see going on from social media to the news and whatnot, and we'll delve into that, right? And give our take on that from a conscious perspective. But we had to lay the base, because there was so much arguing over Pan-Africanism, and there was so much arguing over this and that to show that its state is Morocco in Africa. That's another thing, though, Perry. How did they convince us that Egypt and Morocco wasn't in Africa, man? I mean, they cold.
The same way they convinced us that it's the Middle East. In the middle of what?
Yeah.
What is the Middle East?
Yeah.
But they good.
Yeah.
They good.
Exactly.
I just want to let y'all know, I got some just coming in, man. The audience is stunned today. I mean, I've noticed that. I'm just looking at the panel and I'm looking at the audience, and I'm seeing that they cannot believe this truth is. I mean, they're stunned, man.
God damn! Hey, Chuck, don't nobody look. I don't have it. Hey, we ain't got insurance on this stage. Don't nobody fall like that. Trying to sue us, you gonna feel real hurt. We ain't got nothing.
They are shocked.
Hey, and Spike Lee said, "Wake up,
wake up!" And look, a lot of them probably didn't even know this nonsense. Right?
They know the now. They know the day.
So can we say whether the anthropologists and the archaeologists and the geographic people who was laying out the landscape, can we say they was racist then, or were they prejudiced?
You talking about the land here?
The archaeologists. Anthropologists.
Oh yeah.
And how they was depicting history. They do that for their benefit, to disqualify this.
Think about it. They want to say we discovered something, but that's automatically telling you we didn't create this.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We discovered it, but we didn't build it. We discovered it. And you know what I mean? So if you think about it, it's like, well, who built it? Well, we don't know nothing about all that. I mean, hey, this is a mystery.
There's a myth. We so the people that we found here, they saw them so insignificant they deemed them as non-existent. So we found it wasn't nobody here. Well, you got human beings all over everywhere, but they ain't nobody. We somebody. They're nothing.
They'll go to the level of saying alien built it, and you didn't do it. An alien built it. Somebody from another planet came down here and built this. You didn't build it.
Hold on. But I got a number running. But Panel, OG Alex, Rock Country, though, I do gotta say this. 3/5 of a human being, right? Since you say alien. Some people said that they call it 3/5 of a human being because they knew that we had the God trait. Some said they call it 3/5 of a human being because they thought we was aliens. Some said they called us 3/5 of human beings because they wanted to say that we was 3/5 of a human. Which one of y'all think it was? Or why the colonizer called us 3/5 of a human being? Were we God? They seen us God, aliens, or 3/5 of a human? From their mindset.
Well, let me add this one thing, and we may have spoken about this on the show, is that they enacted animal law into play because they were the European men here that were impregnating the sisters, and child support actually existed at these times. So they enacted the animal domestic law. I think that's the way that it's phrased, where the mother, whatever the race of the mother is, then the child would be the same, because child support didn't apply to Negroes. So the European males didn't have to pay child support once they enacted the animal laws into play in America. So that 3/5 of a human being, when you degrade a people and you put them under animal laws, then, it would make sense that you have this chattel slavery, that would all fall under the chattel slavery modus operandi.
Bro, that ran me so hot, I can't even go on with the show.
Look, I vote that we have to, when it comes to the religion, we have to put our own add-ons, since no one did it.
Yeah.
We need some of these great benefits.
Come on.
We got to add some things and create some things.
Why not?
And bring it to life. Why not?
Why not? Yeah, why not?
I agree.
Yeah. Why we still like we locked in the cage, or like our perimeter is so small? You're right.
One good thing to piggyback on that is when we all speak the truth, everybody always agree. When it's something that don't sound right, we all within us, we all like, know about that one. Yeah, so I think we can agree on certain things, but when we speak it into existence, if it feels right in the spirit, it feels right, 9 times out of 10, it is right.
Look,
But if it's not, you're gonna get your spotty senses gonna go up. You're gonna be like, no, bro, I don't know about that one.
look, example.
Let me get back with you.
Look, when they try to do one-eye dances and in their mind they going hard and think they really doing it, and we be like, he looking at it.
Not quite.
In their mind, they just got it down packed, boy.
To the science. To the science behind it, man.
Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, okay.
Get me started.
Now you try. You know what I'm saying? Wow, bro, that did it for me though. Ooh.
But I want to bring this up before we go. And it came across my mind today. And why you have to really be careful with these times that we're in, knowing that they're using computer systems to mimic us and do everything that we do and can change it with AI and everything. I think that's the next way to falsely accuse you of crimes and put you on the scene when you wasn't even there.
Yeah, like they said, it's what happened to the guy in Austin. I don't know.
They're going to use that in the future, man. We have to be careful of your images that you put online. If you give it to them, they can use it. You give it to them for free. You know what I mean? So we really got to be careful with that in the future, because I've seen, my wife and showed me where they have animals just dancing, doing the moves we're doing and doing everything. And I'm like, I know good and well.
We already in the spotlight. We're already there.
Yeah.
We have people watching us.
Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah. Think about it. We are being watched.
Right.
So we're already out there. Believe it or not, we're already out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know we've been watched.
That is the truth. Look, that's the truth. We're the cameras, everything. We're being watched. That's just it. So how do we get past that?
Because everybody too.
So we're still being studied.
Yes.
Even it's supposed to. It allegedly, when you turn on the TV can watch you.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right. Yeah.
Right now we're being watched. This is our faces. So if you're doing anything, just with us bringing, better informing people, giving them the knowledge, we are being recorded right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't get past things.
Right.
That's why it's important for us to make sure we're doing, you stay clear and dodge arrows and do what you're supposed to do.
Right. And that's why it's important to give references or if you don't have, you put it in a context to let it know that we are teaching. This is a radio show and we're in Texas. And 3 things in Texas. You're going to football. You're going to have freedom of speech. You ain't taking nobody's guns away. And a boy in Texas and would never go in no woman's restroom and play on no girl's sport.
Come on.
And you can do it in other cities, but in Texas, we ain't got to worry about it. Because Texas is a whole different kind of state. We ain't have it. But I do right, though, Rock Country, because I'm going to tell you what's funny. During the O.J. Simpson trial, they had what he was doing in the 6th grade. I'm like, how they know? They knew the gang he said he was that he was supposed to be affiliated. They went all the way back to the 6th grade and had a foul on him since he was in the 6th grade, bro.
Wow.
We have to remember the fact that we have been studied. Don't think it stops. It continues. It's ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would like to say this. Our thoughts and perceptions that we have now are reflections of today and what's going on at this time. So that in the future, if someone decides to or attempts to utilize what we're saying today, because what we're saying today matters today.
Right.
It's our opinions. And as we become better informed, then perhaps, our perception, it may change. But for now, this is us.
This is us. Well said. Right here. Verb Pick Radio as season 1.
Hey, Black.
Yes, sir.
Hey, before you close out, can I? What'd you say, sis? Yeah, but before you close out, I wanted to say one thing, if you don't mind, Brother Black.
Oh, no problem at all.
All right, I just wanted, because I just looked it up, and I want to add a little bit more preciseness what I was saying about the law with the mother. So here, real quick, I just Googled it. 1662, the Virginia House of Burgesses enacted a law based on the Roman civil law principle of partis secutor ventrum, meaning that which is brought forth follows the womb, which effectively treated enslaved women similarly to domestic animals in terms of property rights. This legislation was a radical departure from English common law, where a child's status and support were determined by the father, and served several specific purposes for white slaveholders. By making the child's status dependent solely on the mother, the law absolved white fathers from any financial responsibility, legal acknowledgement, or child support for children they fathered with enslaved women. And then it goes into a lot more important details that we could say for another time.
Ooh.
I just want to add that to the record, for the record.
And I'll help the first deadbeat dads.
The first.
You feel me?
But for all the black people,
there it is,
who was proud to say,
why? Well, that technically made rape legal.
Right, stop.
Oh, hey.
Yes. And that too.
Hey, look. Hey, let me say this one. Since you said that, OG Alex, I wasn't even going to include that part. Let me read this part. Because paternity was legally irrelevant to the child's status, the law removed the risk of prosecution for white men and facilitated the widespread sexual abuse and rape of enslaved women without legal consequence.
Now that's a whole new topic that we need to discuss.
That's a topic.
Think about it. When they actually bring awareness about it, but they're never gonna go back and fix it. They're like, it's certain things that you see that happen. You're like, well, why ain't the people, outraged about this? Because they got these laws and they know
the law.
Mm-hmm.
And we did a show on the mulatto axe murder.
So that is partly confirmation why we need to implement our own things.
You're right. Look, y'all can, everything they gave us from the name today, y'all can have all that baby. Hey, we don't want it. You right. We finna do our own thing. But no. Remember, we finna do our own thing. But look,
technically we can, because it's saying you're free. You're free to do those things. You're free to do them. So technically we really can, and nobody really can't do anything because you technically free. You see what I'm saying? From up under, if you chose to stay within it, you have to abide by.
But we have to do them as gods and goddesses. We can't do them as man and woman. And with gods and goddesses has a knowledge that justifies, that makes you who you are as gods and goddesses, that we can, when they come at us, we say, no, this is the teaching of, this is what gods and goddesses do. This is how they walk, talk, think. It's how they build.
That's right.
They have rapport with one another from that mindset. That's why Jesus said, all ye are gods, children of the Most High God. Then we got to act and behave that way. Because if we
That's
acting as men, then they saying y'all are our equal, and what we do, we see y'all as doing the same thing.
Correct.
So if they pick their plate up without a fork and a knife and start eating right off the plate, that's what they do. We gotta have utensils, and we civil. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It's a separation. So yeah, man, I can't, bro. We gotta go because I done got so heated. I might be up all night. That me off, bro.
Well,
Man, that pissed me off. Man.
The way the audience is sitting right here, man, I think they is really
in shock.
They
taking it back. They taking it back.
Appalled by it.
Yeah. Look, I hope the
you,
two brothers in the back. I hope the two brothers in the back ain't mad at us, man.
Yeah. Damn, all them passes. Like all them different passes they got.
Yeah. Oh my. Say, man. You know, because we are visual people. I mean, your great grandmother 4 times removed going through that. That's your blood, man. That fuck you. You know what I mean? And there was nothing we could do, man, to help him. We was helpless. The man was helpless. He's sitting there, couldn't do nothing.
Come on.
It's just say, man, that's why you see on social media, you see black people saying, hey, man, we ain't got to do it this Iran war. Don't call us. We out of it. You know, it ain't our thing. You know what I mean? And that's why, and look, hey,
let us not talk about that with the little girls today that got killed. Oh, that's deep too. It's a lot going on.
Oh man.
I'm just like this. When you come at people, come at the right ones, not us.
You don't come at.
We don't have anything to do with that.
Black and brown was said 8 years ago when the minister said black and brown don't get in this war, it's coming. Everybody finna get pulled in this war. Press conference, we seen it happen. It's a bad. Somebody predict they're gonna start recruiting from 18 to 25. Hey man, you gotta make it. It's Muhammad Ali time. I ain't going. It's Muhammad Ali. Yeah, I ain't. Hey. And listen, then again, that might be why you see so many brothers and sisters. They on there sitting, man. I was Ramadan. I ain't. Hey. Because if you're a Muslim, that's conscious objective. You ain't got to go. So maybe they say, everybody practicing it this year.
Oh, yeah. Hey, can you repeat that again for the people in the back? Can you repeat that, please?
Hey, everybody. It's Ramadan. This is not our war, country, interest, objective. We ain't got nothing to do with this. Hey, look, we finna sit this one out, man. 18 to 25, put your Muhammad Ali on.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, hell no, we won't go.
They gonna come to the OGs for advice. Was like, hey man, this one here is a little different.
Don't do it. Say this is not any other war.
No.
This thing is just getting started. Look. And this is just news reports. The objective was he thought that America and Israel was going to go into Iran like they went into Venezuela and just hit them real quick and it's over with. That was it. But it didn't work that way. And so now what Iran is doing, they hitting any Islamic country that has an American embassy or hotels or whatnot, they bomb them. And so they don't want to drag this war out. So now today, China and Russia came in and said that they not directly involved, but they giving Iran aid. Iran admitted today that China and Russia is helping them in this war now. So And now France got involved, Italy got involved. It's crazy. But see, this is the thing, man. This is the thing. And I'm a victim of it too. I was told in the 90s. I was told in the 90s, create you a storehouse, put your canned goods, your rice, and your beans and water, start putting that stuff together now, right? Man, I ain't, bro. Didn't listen, man. Didn't listen. Been told. Look, tried to create me a garden, and now I'm getting it though. I'm learning, man. I'm learning. So I'm just saying that to say, for yourself, your loved ones, just have your plan. That's all. Have your plan, because the plan is pre of what could come, and also after it's all over with. You still gotta eat and survive. You coming out, dust style in your hair, you know what I'm saying? Your eyes, and you trying to gather your composure. You looking for water. Hey, man.
Oh, speaking of that, everybody, you all be sure to get some. I think it's called Lugol's, the iodine.
Okay.
That's something you want to have in your house.
For your water? Oh, okay. Hey,
now you have to.
I'm gonna do my.
You have to look that up.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up then. Yeah. I'm on it.
That's one of your that is something that'll help with radiation.
Okay. African Moore, you want to share your info or about coming up in March, or wait till later and they find out for themselves?
Yeah, we could talk about it on the next show. And I want to just add this, that President Ruto of Kenya stated that if one Kenyan dies from the Iran assault, that there will be retaliation. So just letting it be, just putting it on the record on the show, that we don't know how far this thing can spread. So, just keep an eye on it. Don't just be so aloof. We should always be aware internationally what's going on, because all of these things affect us in one shape, form, or fashion.
Exactly. Including gas prices. They're going up.
Exactly. Including the prices of.
Oh,
can you all see that?
I see it. And
this one in particular.
And okay, I'll put the name in there. It just takes me to correct the spelling because it's kind of blurry.
Okay.
But I think the liquid drops, and I'll put that in the cap with the cap. I'll make a caption of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more thing about the gas. What you say about the gas is that it affects the prices of everything, because when the gas prices goes up, when it comes to being able to move around goods and products worldwide, if you got to spend more money on gas, then you got to raise also the price of the products and goods. So just keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, and then especially when you sitting in traffic for an hour just burning gas.
Yeah.
Hey.
Although Texas have a heck of reserve. But you know how they go. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, well, Texas. Look, Texas is its own country.
It is.
Like
literally. And for the Texan politicians, you don't let Washington come down here and tell Texas nothing. Tell us nothing. Hell, about how we run our politics, how we gonna do what now? Because you gotta understand, as we just stated, you had a lot of Moors and a lot of Muslims in Texas before y'all even got here. So we gonna work together, but we ain't finna work it out. That's how that go. Perfect video, that rhyme. Till next time, man, I really appreciate y'all. Season 2 coming up is gonna be a blast, y'all. Y'all just don't know what y'all got in store for you. I know the audience, I know y'all shocked because some things y'all haven't heard before, and y'all haven't heard black men and women speak like this before. Y'all gotta get used. Come on in, y'all gotta get used to it. You know what I'm saying? We not. This ain't the 1800s no more. It's just like Bro Creek Radio. We out.
So
Yeah.